Hello everyone, welcome to Women Work Your Faith. My name is Sylvia Johnson and today I'm going to be covering the Sunday School Lesson for Sunday, September the 12th. If this is your first time here, we are, and we meaning my partner in crime who's not with me, we're two women who love the Lord and we like to teach other people how to apply their faith to their day-to-day life. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you check us out each week as we post new videos on different topics and Bible study or Sunday school lessons. So without further ado, let's get into the lesson. This week's lesson is titled From Generation to Generation, and it is the second lesson in our new quarter. The Bible basis is Proverbs chapter 4, verses 10 through 15, and then verses 20 through 27. Our Bible truth: to live life to the fullest, we must make good choices and keep a righteous path. Our memory verse for this lesson is, take fast hold of instruction, let her not go, keep her, for she is thy life. Proverbs verse 4:13, and that's the King James Version. In this week's lesson, Solomon is sharing his wisdom to the next generation, hence the title, From Generation to Generation. And one of the things that we can look at as we read the Proverbs is how those things are applied and proven to be true in the Word, and then how is it proven to be true in our life. Our Sunday school lesson emphasizes the importance of Solomon's teaching about using instruction, right? And it says, divine truth is not a luxury, it is a necessity for life. And so that is why it's so important that we apply this instruction to our life. It's a necessity. It's not something that, maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. If you want to get to where you need to be in life, and if you want to live long enough to get there, then you need to apply some of this truth that he's teaching us. Solomon starts out the lesson saying, pay attention to what I'm saying. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Look at my life as a gauge for the truthfulness of these things. So don't just hear these words and think, yeah, but look also at my life and see how it proves that what I'm getting ready to teach you is true. So Solomon is saying my life is an example of what I'm telling you, and using wisdom and applying it to your life will be a blessing to you. And so he goes from there, and he's again saying, I've taught you these things, and I am teaching you these things, and I have led you in the right paths. So he's saying there's a benefit. If you pay attention to what I'm saying in this lesson I'm giving you, in this knowledge, this wisdom, right? This wealth of information that I am providing you. If you pay attention to this, there's a benefit here. The way you go in your life on that path that I'm leading you on, you won't have those obstacles and those challenges that you would have if you deviated and went another way. You won't face the trouble that you would have if you ignored what I was teaching you and decided, I'm gonna do my own thing, right? And so he's saying, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. You ain't gonna be tripping over these little gotcha moments in life, because you'll be applying my wisdom. It will help you bypass some of that foolishness. And so he's making a case here for how important it is to apply these teachings. And if you read a little bit before this, he talks about why it's so important to get wisdom, because it's the principal thing. You need to understand as well. So get that wisdom and get an understanding. And he's here pushing and making that case for why this will matter significantly in your life. What have we been taught from our teachers, our parents, more experienced people? What have we learned through the Word and through our relationship with the Lord? That instruction is your life. Well, what do you mean it's your life? It is how you manage to live, and not just live, but in what he's saying, you're going to live well if you follow this instruction. If you follow instruction, you will not run into the dangers that we run into all the time. Example, how many times has someone told you to look both ways before you cross the street? And yeah, we hear that all the time. It's like, yeah, I got it. But how many times have you almost stepped off that curb and you didn't see that car coming? You didn't even listen to instruction. How many times have people said, don't text and drive, right? And then next thing you know, you're looking at your phone and you look up and all of a sudden that car that was way down the road is now right here. You didn't listen to instruction. So instruction is, it's a preserver, it's a keeper for us. It protects us. Because if we listen to that instruction and apply it to our life, things will change for our better. Not just that, but our life has been preserved by us applying the things that we were taught. So when he says keep her, he's talking about instruction. For she is thy life. Her significance to your ability to exist in the future is dependent on you following instruction. And then following that, he gives a warning. Don't go the way of the wicked. So the thing to keep in mind is that he is telling them that it is an intentional choice. Not necessarily that we choose to do evil and wicked things all the time, but it is an intentional choice for us to turn away from where we're supposed to be going. And sometimes it looks good, right? Sometimes the wicked way looks glittery. It looks like the shiny way. It looks like the happy way or the funny way or the busy way, right? Because there's so many people going on that way. But he's saying, pay attention to instruction. Look at the way that I'm leading you and don't go that other way. Make it an intentional choice for yourself to stay off that path. And he reiterates it and he emphasizes it. Avoid it. Don't even cross that way. Don't pass by it because it might tempt you, okay? If you see the glittery way shining a little bit, you might be tempted to turn. Turn from it and pass away. Turn your back to it. Don't even look that way. Stay away from those temptations. Next, we move forward to chapters 4 and 20. And I kind of consider this for the lesson a little bit of a checklist that Solomon gives of good points to follow when you're applying wisdom and instruction. So he's telling us in chapter 20 to listen and incline your ear. So turn your attention and your focus to these things, not for a moment, but for the duration of your life, because they'll be essential for you. And he's saying, let them not depart from your eyes. So listen to what I'm saying. Look at them. Keep your focus on them and keep it hidden in your heart. And why is that important? Because what you hold in your heart is what's important to you. Those are the things that you desire and that you pursue in life. And so if truth and instruction and wisdom are your heart's desire, are your heart's worth, your heart's value, then those things will be what you pursue and follow after in life. So to those who find this truth, it is life. It is how you exist. It is how you flourish. It's how you grow. It's how you succeed and do better. That's what it means. It is life. And it's also going to keep you alive. So it has kind of a double meaning here. So it's going to preserve you. It's going to keep you. It's going to establish you. It's going to help you flourish, to grow, to be successful, and not end up prematurely dead. And that's either dead in a spiritual sense or dead in the natural sense or dead in the productivity sense, right? How many foolish people you know never get anywhere in life? They are, in the terms of productivity, dead. They are running this hamster wheel. They're always in a pitfall. They never get out of debt. They lose everything they have. They destroy all their relationships. They can't stay employed. And it's because of the lack of wisdom that they have applied to their actions in life. But if you want to be alive in your physical sense, in your spiritual sense, and in your productivity, I don't know why I'm struggling with that word. In your productivity, you need to follow this wisdom, and you will flourish in all those areas. We actually have a whole video on this. Kenesha taught about what it means to keep your heart, but this is where Solomon tells us, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And so in a nutshell, what does he mean by keep your heart? I have my heart, it's right here. But protect it, work on it, shield it, preserve it. And how do you do that? By keeping these instructions, by protecting where you go. What do you allow into your space? What do you he said to keep this instruction before your eyes. And let's say that you don't keep this instruction before your eyes. What is in front of you? What are you focused on? Those things are what come into your heart. Like what kind of things? Okay, well, some of the things that come at us, if you're looking on TV now, the hostility, it doesn't matter what position you're in, you're arguing with somebody on the other position, right? That fighting, that lack of unity and restoration, that lack of oneness that we have in the world, that hostility, all of that gets into your heart. And the next thing you know, you arguing with people at work that you weren't arguing with, okay? Then the next thing you know, you ain't got no job because you were arguing at work, or you got mad and quit. Those things, when it gets in your heart, all of a sudden it has turned your attention, your focus, and your actions another way. So what Solomon is saying, keep your heart, protect it, preserve it, put this instruction and wisdom and truth inside there, and you will be safe against these other things. This is one of those verses where sometimes the words are not words that we use commonly today. And if you don't have the opportunity to ask someone, sometimes it might be easy to use a different translation. So let me tell you what the Amplified Bible says. It says, put away from you a deceitful, lying, misleading mouth, and put devious lips far from you. Put away, that means that should not be associated with you. You should not be known or be found practicing or even consider doing these things, such as being lying and deceitful and devious. And that's interesting coming from the mouth of the king, right? Because we tend to look, especially now, as hierarchy, monarchy, or political leaders as being devious, liars, double standards, two-faced, all of that. He's saying is not what you want to be. And so we as people need to recognize that a godly leader is not that way. And not just a godly leader in a title sense, but a godly leader is one who follows Christ, because we are all leading others to or away from Christ. Solomon is putting a lot of emphasis on keeping your focus on the right path. Look straight on. And what is this path? It's the path of godliness. It's the path of truth. It's a path of honesty and integrity, good moral character. Those are the things that you need to focus your energy on being and cultivating within yourself. Not focusing on what looks to be popular on path number 2. That ain't the way you want to go. If you spend time planning the direction that you're going in, and you're using your good moral character, your godly wisdom, your life of truth to make these decisions, then what you do will be successful. And you'll have a long, blessed life. And that's the benefit of following these instructions that Solomon is providing through godly wisdom. The final point in our checklist, do not turn. I have set you on the right path. I am giving you godly wisdom, and good truth that will keep you the days of your life. So don't turn. And now that you've heard some of these things on the checklist, think about the world that we live in today. Solomon has promised the next generation, you will succeed if you follow these steps. Being honest and having integrity, not being deceitful or lying, protecting your heart from evil, not to follow after the evil path. Those are the ways that Solomon is telling them they will succeed. But today in the world that we live in, we think cheaters prosper, and that's the way to get ahead. And so take a minute and kind of compare what Solomon says will bring you success to what the world tells us will bring us success, and decide which success you want to go after. The strategy that you need to be successful is to walk this path and to stay on it, and your life will flourish and you will be a blessing to yourself and the people around you. So if you have any questions or comments, I would encourage you to put those into the comment section down below. We do respond to all of them, so make sure that you send us a little note. And if you don't have a question, consider this one. Think about the path your life is on. Are you applying godly wisdom? And if so, give us an example of how you've done that. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you will be blessed, and we will see you next week. I'll just use myself as an example, okay? My mom would always say, Sylvia, an ounce of precaution is worth a pound of cure. That's a proverb. I didn't know what she was talking about at the time, right? But whenever I would just run into doing stuff or half do stuff or not pay attention, she would stop me and she'd say, Sylvia, an ounce of precaution is worth a pound of cure. Well, what do you mean? If you take a moment and plan and consider and be careful with what you're doing and think about what's ahead of you, down the road, you won't be backtracking, trying to fix all these mistakes because you planned for it in advance. Mind blowing, right?